What's going on? Flip Method here, and this is Valkyrie Anatomia. We're going to go over the basics of equipment. Okay, so how to equip your character to get the most out of them. So whenever you have a character, they have 3 weapons that they can equip. They have their main weapon. We'll go over that first. So the main weapon would be, there's only one type of weapon most characters can use. Say like a bow or a sword. It's just their one specific class of weapon. They usually can only equip those. Now for Lilith here, I have equipped Schwentlight. It's a sword. So whenever you swipe up on a character in the battle menu, you can use their action skill. Now, Schwentlight's action skill would be buff the entire party, and also recover HP. So that's a great skill, but that can only be used by the main weapon. So you can only use skills that are from the main weapon. And it also gets the buffs, so you can see the stats completely change. So we also get the stats from the weapon too, naturally. Now, the sub-weapons are more like gears or armors, really, because they only provide the passive stats. You can equip anything in there. If the character doesn't normally equip staffs, you can equip staffs, or whatever. You're just trying to get stats onto your character with the sub-weapons, okay? So you would just equip sub-weapons for stats, okay? Now, let's move over to orbs. Now, each character has 3 different character skills. So character skills, for instance, for Lilith here, we could have Heroism, taking damage increases the purification gauge, or Act Reinforce, Act Reinforce, increase damage dealt by 10% when using action skills, or Divine, improves all abilities by a percentage when, at the start of your turn, the purification gauge is at level 1 or higher. So she has these 3 skills, but why is that one at 1, this one at 0, and this one at 2? Well, that's because of the orbs. Orbs provide flat stats, and also allow the character to use their passive skills, their character skills, what's unique to the character. Some characters can AoE heal at the end of every turn, and some characters can make the purification gauge build faster. Some can make you do more damage, and so on and so on. Well, how do we get these gauges up there? The orbs do that. So we're going to want to buff, let's say we wanted to buff Divine. We want to get more out of Divine. So we're going to equip, we're going to filter, we're going to look for just the green ones, okay? Just the green ones. Now, it doesn't tell me how many points they give, though, so I'll switch to default. That's going to tell me the passive skills they give. We'll get there in a second. Now here, it tells me the runes. It tells me how many rune points we get. So we get 50 and 50. Well, those are some pretty high numbers, so let's use those so we can see how far it went up. It's still level 3, but it's a pretty high level 3 now. Now it's level 4. It's pretty good. Let's keep that. So we've got it to level 4 now. Well, what does that change? Well, now it's, instead of 7%, it's 13%. So all the skills go up by a percentage, or whatever the skill might happen to do, whenever you equip orbs. Now, what about that passive skill? Well, the passive skills, each orb has a passive skill unlocked to it, which it gives to the character as well. So it's just an added equipment. Most orbs are rolled with random skills, so you'd get lucky, and as you're hunting down stuff, you'd find some good orbs. So we have all heat up on this one particularly, which is all abilities improved at the start of your turn by 7%. Wow. And then heat up, which is fills the purification gauge more quickly. Yeah, let's do that purification as often as we can. And this one has undead protection. Well, we take less damage from undead, and striking, knockdown attack damage. Oh, so if we're swiping down on the enemies, then we do 4% more damage. Well, that's fantastic. Well, yeah, let's do both of those. And you can see the passive stats. Physical defense, they provide defense. So if I were to switch it, you can see how much I lose by switching out to a different gear, or gain if I were to have better. And that's the basics of equipment. See you next time. Peace.